guys. My name is Mr. Charles Matheson, and I am a mortgage loan specialist. So you probably don't know what that means. So to explain, I'm going to start by asking you guys a question. So with a show of hands, who here wants to buy a home someday? Anybody want to buy a home? All right, looks like most of you. Maybe a home like this. It's a nice home, right? What about a home like this? I know, me too. That's a nice one. So to buy a home like this, these can cost hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. So most people don't have $1 million saved up where they can just go pay for a home. So they have to borrow the money from somewhere. Do you guys know what that's called? With a show of hands, does anybody know what it's called when you have to borrow money from somewhere and then pay it back later? A bank loan? Very good. Yes, exactly, a loan. So a loan is money that is borrowed that is expected to be paid back later, and usually with interest. So what interest is a little bit of extra money that gets paid back. So for example, if you want to borrow $10, you might have to pay back $11 or $12 later. So that extra $1 or $2 is the interest on the loan, and that's how the banks make money. So, but we know that you're going to need a much bigger loan to buy a house, right? So a much bigger loan, a big loan to buy a home, where you have to pay it back not over days and months, but over many years, is called a mortgage. So I know it's probably a new word, so let's all say it together on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Mortgage. Good. So a mortgage is a type of loan that is given to a person to buy a home. And so to get your mortgage, you've got to get your money from somewhere, right? So where's a place where you can go to get a big amount of, a lot of money? Who do you think has a lot of money you can borrow to buy a house? Yep. One of you two? In the back? Yep, well, you have to have a job. Yep, so if you have a job, then you go somewhere and you got to borrow the money. That's right, a bank. Are we talking about this kind of bank?
No.
What about this kind of bank?
Yeah.
This bank's a big hit. Love the internet. Well, a bank like this has lots of money, right? So a bank like this can lend you your money to get a mortgage. So, but a bank doesn't want to give this big amount of money to just anybody. They want to make sure that the person that they're lending all this money to, the person borrowing the money, they want to make sure they can pay it back. So they have to have a good job, like you said, and then they want to make sure that they've paid all their other bills on time, and they probably want a little bit of money from them in the beginning before they give them the mortgage. So this could be really stressful on people. They get scared. It's a lot of documents, a lot of information they have to provide. They don't know where to go. There's so many banks to choose from. How are they getting a good deal on their loan? They don't know. So that's where someone like me comes in to save the day. So as a mortgage loan specialist, I talk to the home buyer. I find out what they want to buy, how much money they need, and then I get their information, and then I go to the banks for them, and I try to get them the best deal from the banks. So let's do a little example. So I'm going to have a home buyer. I'll have this teacher, Miss Rosenfeld. Miss Rosenfeld is going to be buying this beautiful home. And we have a couple banks here, but I want one more bank. So who wants to raise your hand if you want to be bank number 3. I'll have Miss Rosenfeld choose someone who's going to have to do. Sean? All right. Sean, you're going to stand over next to the other banks there. We'll have you turn it that way. Okay. All right. So Miss Rosenfeld wants to buy this beautiful home, and for our example, we're going to say that the home costs $100. I know we know that real homes cost a lot more, but just to make it a little easier, we're going to, for example, say it costs $100. So I'm going to then go to Miss Rosenfeld and ask her some questions as the mortgage loan officer. Hi, Miss Rosenfeld.
Hi,
I hear you want to buy a home. I'm great. How much is the home that you want to buy? How much does it cost? $100. Okay. And how much do you have saved?
I've saved $10.
Okay. So she has $10 right now, but she needs to borrow. She needs a home. She needs $100 to pay for her home. So how much money does she need to borrow from the bank? Yep. $90. That's right. She needs a $90 mortgage to buy her home. So, do you have a good job?
I do.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a teacher.
No.
Middle school, elementary school.
Okay. For how many years?
30 years.
30 years. Teacher for 30 years. And have you paid all of your bills on time?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Excellent. So now I've got that information. I think I can get you a mortgage, but let me go find out. So now I'm going to go talk to the banks. Hi, bank number one. I have a client who wants to buy a home. She has been a teacher for 30 years, and she's paid all of her bills on time, and she has $10 to give you now and needs a $90 mortgage. What can you offer?
So I can only give her a mortgage of $80 right now.
Okay, so she can only give $80 right now. Okay, let me talk to another bank. Bank number two. I have a client who wants to buy a home. She has $10 to give now, needs $90 mortgage. She's been a teacher for 30 years, and she's paid all of her bills on time. What can you offer?
Yes, I can give her a mortgage of $90, but I want her to pay me back $120 in 10 years.
Ooh, okay. Okay, that sounds okay. Let me talk to one more bank. Hi, bank number three.
Hello.
I have a client who wants to buy a home. She has $10 to give you now. She needs a $90 mortgage, and she's been a teacher for 30 years, and she's paid all of her bills on time. What can you offer?
I can give her a mortgage of $90, but I want her to pay me back $110 in 10 years.
Okay. All right, guys, so I've talked to 3 different banks. So bank number 1 can only give $80 right now. Bank number 2 can give $90 and wants $120 later. Bank number 3 can give $90 but wants $110 later. So with your, show me on your fingers, 1, 2, or 3, what bank is getting the best deal? Where should I go to get her mortgage? If you said 3, you are correct. So bank 3 is the one that's given her the best deal to give her mortgage. So now I get to go back to her and give her the good news. Miss Rosenfeld, guess what? I found you a great mortgage. I can get all $90 for you to buy your $100 home, and you just need to pay back $110 after 10 years. Congratulations.
That's a great deal. Thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
You're welcome. And then we sign paperwork. and that's how it works. Thank you for helping. Have you have your seat? Bless you. So that's kind of how it works. So I love my job because as a mortgage loan specialist, I get to help lots of people make their dreams come true by buying a home. Would anybody else like to help people make their dreams come true and help people buy homes someday? Anybody? Maybe? Mansions? Maybe? Well, if you want to be a good mortgage loan specialist, you're going to have to be good at math, right? Because you have to deal with lots of different numbers. You have to be a good communicator because you have to talk to lots of different people. And you have to be good at reading documents and being organized. So there's lots of skills that you need. So I learned those skills when I went to school, and I got better at them when I went to college. So that's why it's important to learn those things in school. Anybody have any questions for me? Uh-huh.
Why do you the thing around your neck?
This?
We forced them to record it.
They're making me record this. Say hi. Yep, it follows me around. Anybody have any questions about my job? Mm-hmm.
Whenever you do your job,
Uh-huh.
do you sometimes fail one?
Do I fail?
Yeah.
Some people may not qualify for. They may not be able to get a mortgage. And why do you think that might be? Why do you think a bank might not want to give them any money? Right, the bank's afraid they're going to lose money. So why do you think? Do you think you know why a bank might not want to give someone money? Right, exactly, because maybe they don't have a job. Well, if you don't have a job, the bank knows that you may not be able to pay back the loan because you may not be making enough money. Or maybe you didn't pay your other bills on time, and the bank finds that out. They're not going to want. They're going to think you can't pay the mortgage back on time, right? So, yep. Question? $1 or $2 short. The bank or the person? Yeah, sometimes they don't. They're very close, but don't have enough money. So maybe they have to wait. Maybe they have to wait and save more money, right? They might have to wait another few months and save more money, and then try to get their mortgage, or maybe wait a year. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Uh-huh.
Have you ever had a too expensive payback?
Yeah, someone's trying to buy a more expensive home than they should. Yep. Sometimes people try to buy a home that's more than they should have tried to buy, and then they can't pay it back. And that's not good, right? Any other questions? No? Ms. Rosenfeld?
Tell me about the classes you took in college
Mm-hmm.
that you had that would benefit you.
Yep.
for being a lawyer.
I took finance classes, and I took economics helped, and I took calculus, which is a really high-level math class. And then I always liked to read, so you have to read lots of documents. So reading classes helped. Things like that. Mm-hmm. Yep. You have a question? I'm sorry? Yep, that's a good question. I only do houses, so I only do loans for houses because I'm a mortgage guy. There might be other loan guys that do different, boys or girls who do other types of loans. Yep, good question. One last question?
Is there any times where if you don't pay it back in the time period, do you lose your home?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you don't pay it back on time, you could lose your home. If you go without paying for a long period of time, then the bank then owns the home. Yep.
All right, friends, let's power
Yep, that's all we got time for.